This book right here, man, the Holy Bible, I promise you the answers to whatever questions that you got is in this book. You hear me? So listen, I ain't no preacher or nothing like that, but hey, can I get an amen? But hey, I do feel like it's ministry that I could spread into this world. You know what I'm finna do real quick is just run y'all through a few little verses from the book of Genesis that I feel like is gonna help you on that journey and help you get unstuck and build the confidence to be able to walk on your path with conviction. So the first thing is a lesson on manifestation and basically claiming the victory and speaking your goals and your dream life into existence. So in the very beginning, Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, then God said, let there be light, and there was light. So think about that for a second, man. All he did was spoke the word, and when he spoke the word, it became true. Now listen, you are a mini representation of God. God is in you. You see what I'm saying? So if God can speak a word and bring something to life, why can't you do the same thing? Look, this app, this whatever you watching this on YouTube or wherever else I posted, somebody might have thought that the person who came up with the idea of somebody post a video online and somebody else can watch it, somebody might have thought they was crazy. You see what I'm saying? Somebody recording, like I'm literally recording a video right now that you can go back and watch. Somebody probably would have thought that was crazy when somebody first said that and it didn't exist. But that person saw that vision in their mind and they spoke it. You see what I'm saying? They have to speak it. This is going to happen. I'm going to make this happen. So you got to understand it's the same thing, man. Whether you trying to start a YouTube channel and get monetized, whether you trying to start a business in your local community and be the best one, or whatever it is that you're trying to do in this world, you might be trying to invest in real estate or stocks, and you know what I'm saying, you trying to, you feel me, become financially free, you gotta speak that into existence. You hear me? Like I said, God said, let there be light, and there was light. So you gotta speak your goals into existence. Believe it with 100% conviction that it's going to happen. Now that don't mean you can just talk and be all talk, no action. It don't work like that. And we're going to get to that because there's some more verses that's going to address that. But the first thing first is you got to have that belief. If you ain't got that belief, it's over with. So the second thing, man, regarding taking action, God said, be fruitful and multiply. And that's Genesis chapter 1, verse 22. God said, be fruitful and multiply. So what do that mean? Well, when you think of fruitful, right, what do fruit come from? A fruit tree. What is a fruit tree, man? You see what I'm saying? A fruit tree is healthy. It provides good nourishment for the world. It provides things that people can live and thrive off of, and it creates more of its kind. The fruit tree got a bunch of these fruits on it. The fruits got seeds. You plant them seeds, you grow more fruit tree. You see what I'm saying? So it's fruitful. It multiplies. So God is telling you to do the same thing. Now, the obvious meaning behind that is have kids, right? Repopulate the earth, all that. But I think it's even deeper than that, because you can be fruitful and multiply yourself through something like this. By me giving you this video and putting this word on you, now this is planting that seed into your mind, and you can grow and multiply that and plant that seed into other people. And so it starts with initial seed, right? And it grows and it's planted, and somebody else planted the seed in me. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm planting the seed in you. And so now you go plant that seed in somebody else, and we just be fruitful and we multiply. So God said that. Now, why is that important to you? Like I said, I'm making this video for people that's having trouble starting a personal brand and monetizing that, creating their own business. But it can apply if you're not doing that, but you know, you found this video, then it's a reason God put this on you, so these lessons can still apply to you. But specifically for the people that I'm talking to, like, it's your duty to do this work. You see what I'm saying? Like, man, listen, you got folks in the Bible, they walking across countries, walking across, you swimming across rivers and all type of other stuff that folks doing in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? And so you can't just show up and make a YouTube video. Like, it's your duty to do this work, because you have a seed that's in you that needs to be multiplied. Not just your specimen, your kids, but the seed of your soul, your spirit, your ideas. It needs to be multiplied into the world. And you can do that through something like this, content creation, man. You upload it and boom, you planted that seed out there in the world, and now you can be fruitful and multiply. Every time you make a video, somebody watch your video, you are multiplying your seed of your fruit, your spirit, your ideas, like I said. So God said be fruitful and multiply. So you got to understand don't sit there and be nervous about it, because you're supposed to be doing this. So you got to understand that. Now, the third thing is this: when it comes to running your brand, you have to understand that you run your brand. You do it your way. You make the decision. Why? Because God gave us dominion. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the earth, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Now, obviously, man, he's talking about taking care of the earth, taking care of the planet, taking care of the animals. But listen, at the end of the day, right, he still said, let them have dominion. You see what I'm saying? So that means you are on the earth. You have the say so over what happens. You see what I'm saying? Now, obviously, it's rules and regulations and laws and all that. But what I'm specifically talking about, man, is when it comes to your brand, like, quit trying to. I ain't saying don't try to get advice from other people and learn from other people, but at the same time, you can't always be, well, what would you do? Well, what would you do? Or what do you think I should do? What do you want to do? What do you think should happen? You see what I'm saying? God gave you dominion. So you have to understand God is giving you the authority to make these decisions for yourself and your brand, because these are your seeds that you are planting, right? So you choose, where do I want to plant these seeds at? What type of fruit do I want to plant in the first place? You have dominion over that. So you got to understand that when it comes to your brand, man, like I said, you learn from people. It might be a farmer around the way who his farm doing real good. Yeah, you can ask him some questions. Hey, what's up? How you do that? Where you get the seeds? How you treat the soil? Okay, how often you water it? You can ask questions, but then when it comes time for you to run your farm, man, and plant your seeds, you gotta have dominion over that. So, man, just trust yourself, bro. Understand that, look, you get to do this. This is a privilege, and man, be willing to mess up sometimes. Okay, I messed that up, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, let me do it this way now. And you got dominion, and you using that dominion. So the next thing is this, right? I was just talking about, you got to have dominion over your brand, but also you can seek help from other people. And listen, God said this, Genesis chapter 2 verse 18, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. So that means quit trying to do everything by yourself. Now, I know that might sound like a contradiction to what I just said, but ultimately what I mean is this: you have dominion, you get the final say so, right? So you can't just be waiting on everybody else to make decisions for you. At some point, you gotta be willing to make a decision, and it might even go against what other people think is best, but you gotta be willing to do that because you got dominion. But at the same time, right, God is 8 billion people on earth. It ain't just one man. You know what I'm saying? God just said man shouldn't be alone. I'm gonna make him a helper. So you still seek help, seek advice, and also just connection, man. Like, that's, kind of outside of the brand thing, but you got to be connected to people just in your real life too, because that's gonna all affect your energy and how you show up for your brand. So, put a strong emphasis on relationships in your personal life and in your professional or your business brand life, whatever you want to call it, right? So that could be having a romantic partner. It could be your relationship with brothers, sisters, cousins, friends, parents, aunties, uncles, grandparents, whatever. But you just, man, have good relationships and nurture good relationships, dog, because that's also how people plant their seeds into you, and you plant your seeds into them. But then when it comes to your brand, the same thing, man. I think community is a big thing, right? Especially if you're trying to build a personal brand. So focus on that. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna take a minute, but focus on surrounding yourself with people and talking to people online and in your real life that's gonna help you and support you and make you grow and help you be better, because nobody was meant to walk this earth alone. You come into this earth alone and you gonna leave out alone, but we meant to walk this earth together. That's why we all here at the same time. Now, with that being said, though, it ain't just all time for play, because God said we must work. Now, this one is more of a long one, but I need y'all to pay attention, okay? This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 17 through 19. Now, a bit of a backstory. Y'all know the Adam and Eve story. Talked to the snake in the garden. She bit the apple. She had Adam do it. He listened to her. So God, in the verses before what I'm finna read, he laid out his punishments for Eve. And right now he's laying out his punishment for Adam. So Then to Adam he said, because you have heeded the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it, cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. So what do we unpack from that? Well, listen, my take on it, long story short, is God is like, look, I gave you all of this. It was yours to enjoy forever, but now you have sinned, so you got to pay. So now instead of me just giving you all this freely, you're going to have to work for it. You see what I'm saying? So look, man, you gotta understand, we gotta work. We can't just be down here and be lazy, right? But Adam continued to work, and he did what God told him to do, so he still was blessed. If you look at Noah and the ark, which that's also in the book of Genesis, right? God gave Noah specific instructions and he did it, but then Noah was blessed from that, right? Their generations and their kids is blessed. Abraham, he, was one of God's prophets. His generations was blessed. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you sitting there and being lazy and you ain't trying to do the work that God is putting on your heart, you see what I'm saying? Which is your true purpose, which I just talked about in my last video. I'll link to that one after this one if y'all want to check that out. But God is putting this on you, so you have to work. God is telling us this. So with that being said, okay, this is where we still have dominion, and to a certain extent we could choose what kind of work we want to do. Now, you might be in a situation now where you got a 9-to-5 job or whatever, and you got to do what they say. But listen, at the end of the day, going forward in your future, right, you get to determine what you want to do, but at the end of the day, you got to do it. If you trying to get this money, you trying to live a fulfilling life where you ain't gotta, be on nobody else's time and all of that, you gonna have to put some work in, and you might not get paid for that work for a nice little minute, but you got to keep showing up and doing that work, just like planting them seeds in that garden. You plant them seeds, you don't just get a fruit tree right away. It take months. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long it take. It might take years, whatever. But you plant them seeds, and what you got to do, you got to keep showing up. You got to keep watering them seeds. You got to keep pests away from them seeds to make sure they don't come eat the seeds or eat the plants before they can grow, and be fruitful. You got to plant the seeds in the right spot. You know what I'm saying? Make sure they're going to get enough light, which means watch your environment, right? But ultimately, though, when you plant them seeds, you got to keep on doing work for a nice little minute of time before you get the fruit from that tree. But once that tree grow and it starts bearing fruit, now that tree is there for a long period of time. You can keep eating from that tree over and over and over and over because you put the work in first. You planted the right seed, and then you put the work in over and over and over and over, and now you got this tree, and it's fruitful. And what else is it going to do? It's also going to multiply because the fruit give you more seeds. You plant them and you keep making more and more trees. Now you got all these fruit trees and you good, but you put that work in up front. Now, with that being said, you got some people that want to try to cheat the grind, and some people do succeed in cheating the grind. And I ain't here to judge nobody. People do all type of stuff to get money, but at the end of the day, man, if you like most people, then you gonna have to just go through the grind. But the way that you do it is gonna determine what you get in the end. And God said, if you do good, you will get good in return. So I'm taking this from Genesis chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. So the backstory is Adam and Eve had 2 kids, Abel and Cain, and basically God gave them both certain jobs to do. Cain was a little bit jealous of, the treatment that Abel was getting, and he was upset at the Lord, right? So the Lord came to him and he said, so the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. And so what do that mean, man? When you doing this stuff, it's a right and a wrong way to do it. Now, look, man, you can find some ways to cheat the grind and manipulate people and do all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, you're going to get what you give. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful of that when you out here trying to grow your brand and you trying to make sales and do all that. Don't be out here trying to just get people money, but you ain't really helping them, giving them no value back. See what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there is temptation in this world, and this temptation, like it said, its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. So the temptation is going to present itself to you, but you have to be able to have dominion over that and say, no, this is not the way. I'm going in this way. And you got to be willing to stick to that. And ultimately, I believe that when you do it that way, that's going to give you more long-term goodwill and make you more wealthy in the long term versus you do some cheap stuff to get some quick wins, but then your good luck kind of die out, versus you stick to the word and you do it the right way. And then, like I said, now you got all these fruit trees that you can eat from the rest of your life because you planted the right seeds and you tended to them the right way. And the other part to that is sometimes you just got to give without expecting nothing in return. See what I'm saying? Like people, you'll try to give, but you really just want something back versus you just give, man. You just give, give, give. For example, making these videos, man, spread your ministry out into the world. You see what I'm saying? Because people gonna use it, and it's most of the people that come across your brand or your content, they're not gonna be able to spend money with you, or they just might not want to. But you ain't expecting that. You just putting it out into the world to help people. And at the end of the day, along that journey, you is gonna get some people that is gonna show love, and you're gonna make your bread and you're gonna be good, but you still just giving without expecting nothing back. But you doing it according to this word that I'm giving y'all. Now, at the end of the day, it can be hard to just give, give, give and not know when are you going to receive in return. But ultimately, you can have the confidence that that time is going to come because God said your time will come. So just keep that in mind. Genesis chapter 8, verse 22. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. So basically what that's saying is, as long as we here on this earth, it's going to be a time and a place for everything. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. Seed time and harvest, cold and heat, day and night, right? Good times and bad times. So what do that mean? It's going to be seasons where you're going to have to put in the work and you're not going to see the results. But that also means that it's going to come a time where the results is just coming and coming and coming and coming, and you're not having to work that hard. See what I'm saying? So you got to already know that when you're going through that time and it's a little rough for you and you constantly doing this and you ain't seeing the end of the tunnel and you don't know when you going to reach the end of the tunnel, but you just going, you got to understand that that's just the way of the world. It said in the Bible, it's going to be day and night. It's going to be seed time and harvest. It's going to be cold and heat, right? But so you just might be going through the cold right now. You going through the seed time, right? But then you gonna make it to that harvest. One thing that I like that the Celtics was saying, and I'm a Lakers fan, man, so hey, I'm kind of hurt that the Celtics just won, but shout out to Jason Tatum, though. I'm glad he got a chip. He from St. Louis, so I rock with dude. But one of the things that they was always saying, I know, I'm pretty sure I heard Drew Holiday say it, and I think I heard Jason Tatum say it, but they just kept saying, whatever it take for as long as it take. And man, I rock with that. I mess with that on a very deep level. Whatever it take for as long as it take. You don't know when the harvest gonna come. All you know is it's seed time right now. So keep planting them seeds, keep watering them seeds, keep making sure them seeds get light. You see what I'm saying? Which that means your goals, give them time and attention. Keep working on them. You don't know when the harvest gonna come, but it's gonna come. Whatever it take for as long as it take. And probably my favorite one out of all these, man, this is the one that I just really, really love this. Genesis chapter 17, verse 6. And God said, I will make you exceedingly fruitful. I'm going to repeat that for y'all. God said, I will make you exceedingly fruitful. So with that being said, it's seed time. You don't know when the harvest gonna come. But what do you know about that time when the harvest do come? God said he will make you exceedingly fruitful. So all you gotta do is have 100% confidence in God and his word, because you know good and well that God will not lie to you, and he told you he will make you exceedingly fruitful. And he also told you that there is a time for seed time and there is a time for harvest. So you don't need to know when that harvest is going to come, because he already told you he will make you exceedingly fruitful. So keep planting them seeds and you eventually will reap what you sow. Now, with that being said, if you like this video, then like the video, but you also will like them videos. I'll holler at y'all next time, man. Peace. And let the church say amen.